As you can see, I'm from the Far East. So I would appreciate if you consider me as a wise man when Jesus was born. But I didn't bring gold as a present, but I brought the hard-learned lesson from South Korea. So like our panel said, in order to know our enemy, we have to know ourselves first. We have to define who we are. So as far as I understood, Make Europe Great Again is benchmarking Make America Great Again, right? So I want to point out three key values that MEGA pursue. But I'm only going to talk about the part of it because I'm going to join the later session also. There are three key points that describes MEGA movement. One is absolute sovereignty. Second, absolute faith. Third, absolute loyalty. So there are many sovereignty. And I don't know if you guys ever challenge yourself to question, what is sovereignty? If you think about it, our people, ordinary people, can only have electoral sovereignty. For example, South Korea does not have military sovereignty from the Korean War. So the reason I brought this book is to explain whether Europe needs NATO or not. I want to give out the data, the facts, and history, what really happened when one nation chose to not have military sovereignty. So our founding father, Ri Seung-man, was a hardcore Christian and hardcore fighter to achieve independence from Japan. And Japan and United States were actually good friends to own the colonial countries. But President Ri Seung-man wrote this prophetic book that one day Japan will betray United States. And no USG officers believe that. Because Japanese are nice people, right? They're producing the cutest anime character these days. So no one believed when President Ri said Japan can attack United States, and they did. They attacked Pearl Harbor in 1941. So this book became a bestseller in United States, and he became a famous expert. That's how he gained respect. And Ri Seung-man didn't believe Japan, but had faith in United States. Not as a state, not as a nation, but he believed in American who had faith in Christ. So it's very similar, something similar to MAGA people these days. So President Ri Seung-man believed in people, not a nation, not a state. So if I ask you, is United States trustworthy? In my opinion, I'm not really sure as a state. But I know many Americans who had strong faith in Christ, Jesus Christ. And I know if they can uphold the principle of electoral integrity, even though dictators take over the government, they will find a way to recover its sovereignty. That's the America I believe in, and that's the MAGA spirit. So I can go further, but since we don't have much time, I'm going to wrap it up. So President Ri Seung-man was a very smart man. He didn't trust anyone but God. He fought 50 years for freedom. And yet, right after the Korean War, he didn't give up, but he asked strongly to the United States to preserve military sovereignty of South Korea. And as a result, I will explain later, but Korea lost its electoral sovereignty. That's why President Hyun, former President Hyun, declared martial law to fully investigate fraudulent election cartel, which is National Election Commission in South Korea. He failed. So many Korean people believe we don't have electoral sovereignty anymore. So now, only sovereignty South Korea has left is military sovereignty by United States. That's what is holding strong South Korea as a free nation right now. So think for yourself. What is sovereignty? What decision should we have to make? Which ally do we have to trust? Can we trust the nation? Can we trust the one person? Or can we trust Jesus? Thank you.